Tonight on the program, we examine one of the cardinal promises of the Buhari administration, and that's aside fixing the economy and security. I'm talking about the fight against corruption. Well, just as there's a lot more to do in the areas of security and the economy, I mean, even the government agrees to that extent, but the fight against corruption has not been as resounding as a lot of people had expected. Case in point is the Niger Delta Development Funds, which the president says has been squandered by a few people under successive administrations since the year 2000. But in 2019, the president ordered a forensic audit of the operations of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, from 2001 to 2019. And 2 years after, in September 2019, in September last year, I should say 2021, the final report of the audit was presented to the Attorney General in 17 large bags by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Enang. Now, here's what was revealed from preliminary investigations. On record, the execution of over 13,000 projects, in fact, 13,777 projects was substantially compromised. Approximately 6 trillion naira was given to the Niger Delta Development Commission within that period of investigation. And the commission had over 362 accounts, coupled with lack of proper reconciliation of those accounts.
The Niger Delta Development Commission needs to demonstrate that it can achieve the objectives it was conceived for and made its impact felt all over the Niger Delta region. The lives of the people of the Niger Delta could be so much better if the funding received by this commission since its inception in billions of naira over the last 20 years have been judicially deployed in service of the people. The serial abuse, lack of delivery, and what had become an entrenched institutional decay was the reason why I called for the forensic audit. Therefore, going forward, we shall ensure every recoverable kobo is recovered for use in service of the people of this region, and those found culpable shall face the law. Consequently, I want to use the opportunity of this commissioning to direct all statutory contributors to the NDDC to remit all outstanding funds to the commission and to ensure this is done transparently and according to laid down procedure and process. To the management of the institution, I recognize your efforts in breathing life back into this project, which could easily have become one of the many moribund projects that dot the landscape of the region. I expect more of these reclamation projects as we go into the new year. This is what we owe as a duty to Nigerians.
Well, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari speaking towards the end of last year at the commissioning of one of the projects done by the NDDC. But to be fair, we don't exactly know much still about that forensic report, which was submitted to the president about 4 months ago. That report has not been released yet. Well, the president's statement actually gave some indication as to his next line of action, but still a lot is being shrouded, as it were, in secrecy. And as you would expect, a lot of questions are being asked. What is being done really in bringing those culpable to book? Will this end up like other documents which some say are gathering dust in one MDA or the other, saying that this is a very, very important one? Well, tonight we speak with a man who is in the know to shed more light on what is being done. And we're joined on the program by Senator Enang, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs. Senator Enang, thank you for joining us on the program. Let me just say a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, sir, and Happy New Year, all Nigerians, and I welcome myself to politics today. Thank you.
Okay, so I mean, the first question is pretty much simple. Will this be the year when we see the fruition of the president's statement saying those who've been found culpable will be brought to book? Is 2022 that year?
Yes, I am confident, and Nigerians should be all confident because Mr. President does and means whatever he says. A lot of people have asked, and like you've asked, when are these people going to be brought to book? We want to say that the recommendations of the forensic auditors are still being examined. And when a report is submitted to the government will have its committee or appropriate officer or office examine the recommendations of that committee, in this case, the forensic audit, and the forensic audit report, and then it will prepare white paper. It is the white paper showing what the executive has accepted and what is rejected that will draw attention to whoever is culpable, to what extent, and what needs to be done, if there is anything to be recovered or otherwise. Right now, we cannot speak definitively on who to recover from, what to recover, because unless and until that forensic audit, unless and until the white paper is out, showing the recommendation that has been accepted, it will be prejudging issues. And the Holy Bible has said that even God, in all his wisdom, did not pass judgment on Adam until he had called upon him to make a defense. And that defense they have made, that is what is being examined now. And the white paper will come out with appropriate recommendation that has been accepted. And that will be when the rest will be done.
You know, this conversation presents Nigerians, or presents us the opportunity to put Nigerians in the know, because as you referenced, as I've also said, a lot of questions are being asked about this. So help us understand what exactly is happening right now and who is doing what. So if you say that a white paper will be released eventually, but where we are right now today, where are those documents, those bags, what, 17 of them or thereabouts? Who is handling them? Or do I say what ministry, department, or agency is examining those documents as we speak right now?
I will not specifically tell you where it is, but I will simply answer this, that the documents were submitted to Mr. President through the learned Attorney General of the Federation, and it was in the public glare. And that is the only thing I can say. The rest are being worked on with the in accordance with the due process of government. I cannot say this is the person handling this and this is the person handling that, because that will be speaking too much on the affairs and internal workings of government as at this time. But I want to say that the government is handling it appropriately, and it is receiving the expedited attention that it deserves, given the issues involved.
How delicate really is this issue for you to say you don't want to expose what ministry, department, and agency is handling this? I mean, I expect that Nigerians should actually be in the know. That's why we have government. So how delicate is this?
And through the Attorney General, it was received. It is the learned Attorney General and his office that will ask different questions on different matters. And it will not be appropriate for me to say, this has been sent here, this has been sent here, this has been sent here, or it is being handled by this or that. But it was submitted to the Attorney General. And to my knowledge, it is being worked on.
So essentially, the Attorney General is the one leading the charge on this one.
I want to say that it was submitted to the Attorney General and it is being worked on. And the Attorney General knows what to do and has taken appropriate action. If there is any question that he needs any answer from anywhere, he is making appropriate request and appropriate syndication. But it will not be appropriate to, at this stage, before and until the report is out, that is, the recommendations are out, to speak on it.
So just to give Nigerians some more assurance, would you say that indeed Nigerians have the rights to know those who are responsible for the underdevelopment of the Niger Delta region?
Well, we want to say that Nigerians have a right to know, and that right to know will be, at least in the course of the public hearing of the public during the forensic audit, questions were asked. In the course of the forensic audit, persons went to different project sites, and most of them were done in the glares of the public. In the course of the forensic audit, the names of contractors who were handling several projects were mentioned. In the course of the audit, most of the projects which were awarded, which has not taken off the ground, were mentioned. In the course of the audit, the payments that were made for quantum of road and the extent of or other projects and the extent of what was done and what is remain or outstanding, not done, for which money may have been paid, was also stated. But I want to say that there was some level of cautionary point by the Niger Delta Development Commission, starting from the era of, I think, Barrister Danabia, followed by Abong Simaikere and the rest, that they were not paying mobilization for project. So when they give you a job, you will have to go source for money and do the job, and after that, you'll be paid on milestones done. So under those tenure, there were not much of money paid for what not done completely. But there were other issues that were raised, which had been examined, and I believe that the forensic audit report has responded to it, and again, that the recommendations, or perhaps in the white paper, may address all of that. And Nigerians will be confident that Mr. President is definitely serious about repositioning the NDDC so that it will not be what it was known, and it will return to an agency of development, which it was meant to be.
So let's again put this, conversation in proper context and see the extent of what details and projects we're looking at here. So on record, we have, according to the Attorney General, over 13,000 projects were substantially compromised. Approximately 6 trillion naira was given to the NDDC within that period under review 2001 to 2019. Talks about bank accounts over 300, in fact 362. That magnitude is staggering, and I can only imagine how much this will have, transformed the Niger Delta region, really. And sadly, that didn't happen. But the president said that, these monies were squandered by a few under those administrations between 2001 and 2019. So it would imply that the president has perhaps taken a peek into that report. Does that report also mention those responsible?
Now, those reports has mentioned a lot of things, has made recommendations, has been specific on different issues. Now, it will be wrong at this stage to state, or without making reference to each of the heads, subhead, clauses, and pages, and projects and programs and budgeted items, to draw conclusions on air. It is when the recommendations has been worked on, is released, and I believe it's going to be very, very soon. Only then can we concretely speak that this is the position on this particular one and not any conjecture. So I will want to ask for a little patience for a little short while, because there are many things that are pending to be done, pending on the forensic audit. And we will not want to prejudge any issue, any person, and any subject, so that it will not prejudice the mind of the public.
So speaking of the public, if you were to define that little time which you require of the public, we've had to wait, 4 months in September or in January 2022 now. So how much little time are you asking for? Are you asking for a month, a year, 17 months? What does that little mean?
I want to say that relatively very soon you will hear, because this matter is of utmost importance to Mr. President because a few of the actions which ought to be taken on different directions depends on the outcome of this. And we are conscious about it, and we will be expeditious about all that is pending to be done.
Will 6 months be too much? Will it be too little?
You?
I said, well, 6 months.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I said 6 months from now. Is that close to the little you ask for, or is it less you're asking for?
You know that it can't get near to that. It can't get near to that. And we are conscious of the importance of it. And we can say soon and very soon. And in law or in court, we say so soon thereafter. So soon after here. Thank you.
Well, Senator Enang, you know that when you don't put a figure to these things, then anything can be soon, really. I mean, you know that well, honestly. So I think it's important to set timelines so Nigerians know that, I mean, this government is not just making these promises. It is also serious in meeting a particular target.
Line soon from the appropriate authority, officially released. And of course, you may not even hear of the timelines. You may hear of the action that has been taken without timelines. I'm not going to talk of timelines. In fact, you won't hear of the timelines. You will just hear of the result that this has been done, and then this is the result of the findings, and this is the recommendations made to government.
So indeed, when the president references those few that squandered the money under previous administrations, so this will sound like a direct or perhaps indirect indictment on those administrations, because if such monies were looted under their watch, then clearly they have a case to answer. Am I right?
I want to say that Mr. President made that speech to the whole world, and Channels Television covered it live. And I will not add or detract from what Mr. President said. And it doesn't require any further analysis because it was explicit and clear.
Okay. Well, as you know, Senator Enang, it is not quite clear. I mean, we've not even been able to give a timeline as to when this will come out. So when you say it is clear, still a lot of question marks around. And in fact, one of them is when the president says, every kobo will be recovered, every recoverable kobo will be recovered. Just how much are we looking at? Is it the approximately 6 trillion naira that was released and appropriated? Is it less than that? Perhaps you can clear that one out, because it's not clear, to be honest.
Yes, this is vintage Channels and politics today. And I want to say that in your probing capacity, we will not sleep. We will stay on the beat, and we will stay on the issues. Mr. President has given a commitment that we will recover any money that is found looted, and that found looted will be contained in the forensic audit and audit report, and the aspect that has been accepted in the proposed white paper, or in the white paper that we are expecting. And it will not be appropriate to say this person owed this person owed this person will be recovered. The details are there. Remember, like you said in yourself, that there were about 13 of the cartons, boxes, and the learned Attorney General and the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, His Excellency Senator Enang, made his speech in the presentation and addressed. And then the learned Attorney General also made a speech, and there was a formal release. And it is in that formal release that you've had the data that you have taken as a background to this program. And so I rely on the document and the presentation that you've made as my own response to the questions you have raised, sir. So there will be recovery. Recovery will be according to what is found in the white paper, and it will be under due process of law. And of course, there were other things that Mr. President said in his address, that we are asking for those agencies or bodies which are owing and have not released money to the Niger Delta Development Commission to make their money available. we have these issues of compliance with the commission, with the laws of the commission by the some agencies of the federal government, the oil companies, and so on. That is under remittances, So I think we will want you, the public, to help in accordance with the request of Mr. President to prompt those agencies and bodies to please make those remittances to the NDDC. Then NDDC will have enough funds to execute what it has to execute, because we are pressed for time. We are pressed for time because as of today, oil is becoming less important. It's likely to become less important with the world and the international community working more on green energy, on oil alternative energy, and getting the world carbon free. So oil is going to be less important, and now that it is still relevant, we want to make appropriate use of it to develop the area, to prepare for life after oil. And of course,
Senator Enang,
please, I want channels to help us address one other issue, the issue of soot that is killing the people of the Niger Delta and reducing life expectancy. It is the greatest challenge that we have. The NDDC is trying to do its best. The governors of the federal government is trying to do its best through the Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Petroleum also. So this is the greatest and the biggest of the challenge we have.
Well, Senator Enang,
the people of the Niger Delta, where the oil companies have left the Niger Delta. They're operating from using helicopter to land and produce oil, and have left and go back to Lagos and other places. We want just the public to please help get this soot question addressed, reduced, and decarbonate the area.
Absolutely very important point there, Senator Enang. We're winding down in less than 2 minutes, but just to ask you, it was announced that the governor of Rivers State announced the closure of some facilities that might be responsible for that. Is that enough?
That's a step, and I know the Minister of Environment is also going to take more steps. I know the Minister of Petroleum is also taking more steps, and of course, my office had also worked on the on integration of the these local refiners, and our work was is that if you integrate them, give them the better, more refined way of refining the petroleum product, give them packs, you will be able to regulate the activities, and oil and all the clean, regulated method of production will be applied, and you will avoid the soot. So all these are working together. Okay. We've been in real constant touch with the Honorable Minister of Environment, Sharon Ikazo, Esquire.
Right.
We've been working and talking, and
let's wind down on this conversation.
In fact, some days ago, before the Christmas,
Senator Enang,
pardon me, before the Christmas, she visited there.
Pardon me to jump in now, Senator Enang, because of our time.
The high prep.
We have less than 30 seconds to wind down. In fact, about 20 seconds. So let me just get you to make this statement to the Niger Delta people as we close the conversation. This forensic audit, some other measures that the government is putting in place for the Niger Delta, will it be enough to perhaps return the Niger Delta to the years that the looters have looted?
We will be able to pursue, overtake, and recover all. We will, under President Buhari, recover the lost grounds. One, when we have the recoveries. Two, not just recoveries from persons whom the forensic audit will, recoveries from those who have underpaid, recoveries from those who did not even pay at all, and also go back to real interpretation of the funding provisions in the Niger Delta Development Commission Act.
Well, Senator Enang, we have to run now.
Is obeyed more in breach than in observer.
We're totally out of time. But I just wanted you to speak to the people.
But in terms of execution of programs,
I'm sorry.
It tried its best within the time it operated regularly.
If you can hear me, Senator Enang, we have to run now. But I'd like to thank you so much. I know the people of Niger Delta are listening. But thank you so much for your time. Senator Enang is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, speaking on that forensic audit and what to expect. Thank you again.